Hi guys. Okay, so as you can tell by the title of this video, this is an explanation video. So last night I put a video up, caused a lot of problems. So I took it off and put up a comment. And this morning when I woke up, I have received a lot of comments from people and what have you, and I've read every one of them. What a lot of people have said, they are right. So first of all, I owe an explanation to you all, and second of all, I said that I was going to, close down the channel, close down the website, everything. It was just all going to go away after a month. If I can work out how to disable comments going forward without removing the comments that are on there now, because a lot of the videos that I put out, it was actually the comments from a lot of you guys that made those videos educational and to help other people, because the questions and the replies and all of the conversation that went around whatever product it was that we were talking about, all of that is what made those videos, in my opinion, helpful to other people. So if I'm going to do that, I need those comments to stay, and if I can't do that, then there's no point in any of it. The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm disabling the comments going forward, because I'm not going to be about the channel monitoring what's going on. And so if a comment is left on there, like some of the comments that were left last night, I can't monitor it, I can't reply to it, I can't do anything with it, because I'm not going to be checking in all the time. And so therefore YouTube, or depending on what platform it's on, would close down the channel in any case if they read some of the comments and believed the stuff that was being written. And what you've got to understand is, if a lot of you that watch these videos are not actually content creators, what you've got to understand is these platforms that we put these content out on nowadays, it has to be, you've got to be very, very careful what you say. There's certain words you can't use. And it doesn't matter what context you say those words. There are certain words that you cannot say. The video, for an example, the video I put up of Amelia and kind of like showing you guys how well she's doing and her progress and everything else. It was a very positive video. That video got flagged and it got demonetized, and I had to go through a whole thing with YouTube in order to keep it up, because they wanted to take it down because, well, in their opinion, it was it could be harmful to other kids, whatever. I don't know, but that's the society that we live in, and so I've known that for years, and that they are the rules that we play by. So if I can't look after the comments going forward, the channel will just get taken down in any case. Only I won't be in control of it, because YouTube will just take it, and that'll be it. I'll not be able to have access into it. Whereas if I close down the channel, if in a couple of years' time I decide that I want to come back, I can do that, and I can put all the videos back up, and it's a pretty simple, painless process. So, explanation time. And by the way, I've been playing about with that this morning, because the video I took down last night, I made the video private, and all the comments have gone that were in there. Now, I don't know if I put it back on to unlisted, if those comments will come back on, but I've got to try that. So, okay, so basically, for any of you that didn't see the video last night, what happened was, before Christmas, I did a review of some markers by Sketchmarker, and despite the ignorance of some people, Sketchmarker is a Ukrainian company. They're based in Ukraine. However, where they sell the biggest bulk of their products was Russia. I don't know why. I don't know. I didn't go into the ins and outs of why that was the case, but it was. I know this because I'm friendly with the CEO of the company. We did a lot of back and forth talking about different things that they wanted to do, projects that they wanted to take up here in the UK, and I was helping them with some of that stuff. Nevertheless, people were leaving comments, sending me emails, basically saying that I was supporting Russia in this fucked up war that's going on. So that really caught me off guard, and it really made me angry, and I had to bite my tongue, and I had to be polite and reply back to people politely. And, you know, despite the fact that what they had said was out of order, was not researched, was out of context of everything that I was doing, I was the one that still had to be polite and nice back to them. And because it caught me off guard, it was, I really didn't know what to do. And the only defense that I had was that the fact that they got it wrong. The company's Ukrainian. So for the last couple of years, I have wanted to test and demonstrate and review and actually use the White Nights watercolour paints. I've seen a lot of artists use them, and I love the results that these artists get. There's one lady on Instagram from Turkey, and her artwork is breathtaking, and she uses exclusively White Nights, and she is actually a brand ambassador now for the company. And it was mainly because of her work that I really pushed to try and get these paints. And when I say pushed, what I mean is, here in the UK, it's really difficult to get hold of them. I should imagine because people are walking into stores, blaming stores. Now that I know what happens, people who have never been to war, who have never been involved in anything like that, who have lived their lives in their safe little houses, have walked into stores or email stores and called them all the names under the sun, and accused them of all sorts of things because they stock those art supplies. I don't know that for definite, but I'm guessing it. And the reason why I'm guessing it is because of what's happened to me. So, I got the watercolour paints, and I thought to myself, right, when I do the review of these paints, I want the review to be just about the product. I don't want to have to talk about this Russia-Ukraine thing at all. So, and ordinarily, when I get a product and I'm going to do a review of it, I'll take some photographs of it and I'll put it up on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and say, hey guys, listen, I'm going to be doing a review of this soon in the next couple of days, so keep an eye out. And the images give you a little teaser, a little taste of what's coming. But again, I knew I couldn't do that this time because I knew that there would be a lot of comments coming in from this group of people, and I would have to reply. I would have to go back and forward with long texts explaining myself and all the rest of it. And I really don't have time for that, or I didn't have time for that. So I thought the best thing to do was to sit down, make a video, and put the video up explaining my where I was coming from. Now, at the beginning of the video, I explicitly requested that regardless if somebody puts a comment in the comment section below that you don't like, please don't attack them. Please don't read what they've said. Take a step back, if you disagree with it, fine. Put a comment down, say you disagree with it, but please try to remain respectful and polite, and don't turn it into anything that it's not. Which almost everybody did, with the exception of a couple of people. Actually, nobody replied. So, sorry, let me rephrase that. The people that left the comments that have pushed me along to make this decision, nobody replied back to them in an aggressive, unpolite, unprofessional manner. Okay, so that's what I mean. So in the video, I basically said this. The paints are Russian. I can't get away from that. However, I think it's wrong that we look at this company, this White Knights company, and we blame them for the actions of a madman running Russia. And I also said as well, like, if you're going to go down that route, when the United States and the United Kingdom invaded Iraq and Afghanistan illegally, because that's what it was an illegal war, weapons of mass destruction and all the rest of it on the first Gulf War, all of the lies, everything. It was an illegal war. The United Nations weren't for it, all of these things. But when we invaded them, the Afghanistan people and the Iraqi people classified that as an invasion. They seen that as exactly the same as the Ukrainian people are seeing what's going on in Russia. Exactly the same. That doesn't detract from the deaths that are happening, which I said in the video as well. I completely disagree with. I don't agree with war, full stop. I've took part in too many. I don't agree with any of them. And I was obviously a lot calmer than what I am now. And this is one of the biggest reasons why I'm stopping the channel as well. Some of the people started twisting my words, what I was saying. One woman said that I was basically saying that these Russian soldiers were victims. And I asked her, I said, please can you tell me what part of the video I said that? I'll go back, I'll delete it. Knowing that I didn't say it. She came back then and said, well, actually, you didn't say it, but you insinuated it. And I thought, right, okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is the bullshit that I'm talking about. People taking your words and twisting it to fit what's inside their heads. I said somewhere on a comment as well that I did the video 4 times and I watched the final video back about 6 or 7 times. Another person said, yeah, you did that because you knew what you were doing was wrong. And basically you are, I'm paraphrasing here, but you are culpable for the deaths in Ukraine as well. Because I had also said as well that I'm going to take a break from YouTube and I'm going to come back and I'll still do the review of the watercolors. And this person had said that because I'm still going to do the review, that I clearly don't care about these people in Ukraine, and I'm just as culpable as the Russian forces. Okay, so this gives you an idea of the fucked up shit that we're talking about here. And like I say, because I can feel myself getting angry, I can feel myself going back to the person I used to be. And this is another thing, guys. I've never hid the fact that I wasn't a very nice person at one point when I was in the army and I was subjected to seeing death and destruction all around me and how it affected me. And when people often say to me, you know, Harry, you're a really nice guy, you're this, you're that, you're the other thing, I always comment and say, yeah, I'm like that now, but I am by no way what I would class a good person. I've done my fair share of really, really bad things. So, and unfortunately, all of that in the past cancels out what I am now. But I can feel myself going back there now because I don't listen. Some people have asked in the comments, what you know, was it because of bullying that he's made this decision, or was it because people said something that you didn't like? It's not that, right? At all. There was no bullying. Okay, it takes a lot to bully me. I've never been bullied in my life, actually, and I wouldn't even describe what these people said in any case as bullying. And second of all, and probably the most hurtful and angering thing about all of this is, I'm disabled because I believe in free speech, because I believe in liberating innocent people from tyrannical situations. And not just because I believed it, but because I was part of the organisations doing it. Actually doing it. Not sat at home watching TV or anything like that. Actually doing it. And so to then turn around and say that doing a review of a set of watercolour paints is the equivalent of killing innocent people, that's twisting my words. And that's different from saying, Harry, your artwork is shit. Of which a lot of people have said, and I've left their comments there, and I've replied back to most people that have said that and said, you know what, I get that, I understand that, that's your opinion, you're entitled to your opinion, we all see art subjectively, and so thank you for your comment. It's not about what was said or anything like that. It's the fact that when people take my words and they twist them, and there's not really a lot I can do about it. Yes, I can remove the comment and all the rest of it, but then it makes me a hypocrite because I believe in free speech, right? And when I try to reply back to these people politely, they're just not having it, just not interested in it. And also, so on that respect, there's no kind of like middle ground to be had. There's nothing like that. And like I say, the whole reason I've walked away from it all is because I don't want to go back to that person. I don't want to be sitting here in this studio working day and night, putting videos up, only to end up getting like this. It's not good. It's not a good environment for me to be in, and it's not good for my family. It's not good for anything around me. And I'm not prepared to do it. I'm also not prepared to have anyone, and I mean anyone, dictate to me what I can and cannot review. As a result of that, if I keep this channel up, so I know people might be thinking, well, you're not doing the review in any case, so you're giving in to them and you're doing what you are allowing them to essentially dictate. I'm not. Well, I don't see it as that I am. And the reason why I don't see it as I am is because if I keep the channel up and I keep adding reviews, but I don't review these paints, then I'm doing what they're telling me to do, and I can't have that. By pulling down the channel, that's it. It's just an end to it all. If I keep everything going, and if I do add the review of the paints, then it's going to create this whole bullshit thing again, and it'll just keep going and going and going. And I like I say, I don't want to be in this space. I don't want to be feeling like this. I don't want to be this angry. I don't want to be this upset about things. And like I say, please let me make this very clear. It's not that people were bullying. It's not that people were saying things that I didn't like. It's that people were taking my words and twisting them and making me out to be somebody that was in support of innocent deaths in Ukraine. That's a very, very different thing from somebody saying, Harry, your artwork is shit. It's a very different thing. Or, Harry, your reviews are crap. Your writing style is shit. You look like a prick. All of these things I can handle. All of these things I can handle. I can take every single comment like that on the chin. But what I cannot have is people taking my words, twisting them into their own twisted thoughts, and letting it lie there like that. Like I said at the beginning of the video, YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, they all have very, very strict criteria for content creators and for comments that are left on channels and stuff like that. Things like that, if they're flagged up, if somebody came on and seen that from YouTube and read these comments and seen that there was no defense from me about it or anything like that, they could automatically assume that this video is the content creator in favor of what's going on in Ukraine from Russia, and so we can't have that, so they pull it down. And like I said to you earlier on, when they pull it down, that's it. I don't have access to it anymore, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'd rather it just come down. I have access to it. I have full control of it, and that's it. And then, like I say, in 2 or 3 years' time, if I want to come back to it, if it's something that interests me, then I'll come back and I'll do it. But a lot of things are out of your hands as a content creator, and you've got to kind of like gauge what's being said and what's being done and all these other things, and it's very difficult to do that. I have never removed anybody's comment except for last night, and that was the one who basically said, you know, you don't, because you said you were going to come back and do the review, in any case you don't care, and it basically equates to, you know, you're no different from the people that are doing the killing and stuff like that. When I read that, I got really, really angry, and I started writing the reply, and then I had to stop. I had to stop myself, because I knew that what I was writing was in the heat of the moment, was anger fueled, and was only going to cause more issues, and was probably, in retrospect, going to play into their hands as well, because that's what these type of people enjoy doing most. They enjoy creating disharmony, destruction, all these negative things. They enjoy creating it so that they can sit back and watch all of that happening. And when it's on a keyboard and it's the people are doing this from 100 miles away or whatever, it's something that's out of your control. It's just something that's out of your control, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And like I say, I could, last night I could feel myself going back to the person I used to be, and I've worked so hard to not be that person anymore. I didn't like myself back then, and I know that I had to be that person in order to be able to do the job that I was doing. You can't do that job with a flower hanging out of your jacket pocket. It's unfortunate, but it's reality. And some woman told me about how her daughter was a nurse and her son-in-law was a doctor or something like that in Camp Basti in one of the in Afghanistan. And I, without people like nurses and doctors and stuff like that, there would have been a whole lot more deaths in terms of military personnel in the likes of Camp Bastion and all these other places. But they equate what a nurse does to what a frontline infantry soldier does. I personally can't see the correlation between the two. Everybody has different jobs in the army, and they all together make up the big machine that is the army. Without one, the others can't work. But they're not the same. They're just not. The jobs are not the same. What special forces do is not the same as what an infantry battalion does. It's close, but it's not the same. That's why they're called special forces. That's why they're not another infantry regiment. They're special forces because what they do is different to an ordinary infantry battalion. What an infantry battalion does is different to what, say, something like the pay corps would do, the admin corps and stuff like that. They're all in headquarters. They're all quite a way away from the front line. What they do is vitally important, but it's not the same as what an infantry unit would do. And like I say, it's not the same as special forces. So the whole thing just got out of hand, and so there's only one person to blame for this, really, and that is me. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have put the video up. I shouldn't have tried to explain myself. I shouldn't have tried to have done any of that shit. I shouldn't have tried to think that doing a review of an art product, people could separate that from the death and destruction that's going on in Ukraine. I genuinely thought that could be separated. I didn't think... I could never see the connection between the two. And somebody turned around and said last night, well, that company pays taxes, corporation taxes in Russia, so therefore they're funding that. Right, okay. Yeah, and that company has a choice as to what they pay in taxes. Yeah, because Putin wouldn't send anybody down into that company to shut it down in a heartbeat. That wouldn't happen. And perhaps those people go to jail. That wouldn't happen. But so long as those people go to a gulag and go to jail in Siberia or something like that to appease you, you know, that's what you're expecting to happen. Even though you wouldn't do something like that. You wouldn't put your neck in the line for other people, would you? So that's the type of mentality and the type of... intellectual conversation that we're trying to have here. These people are expecting corporations and companies and all the rest of it, and put it like this, when the UK and when the UK and the US went to Iraq, there was thousands protesting in the streets, but not a single corporation, not a single company stopped paying their taxes. Do you know why? Because the second they stopped paying their taxes in protest, they would have been shut down. And that's here in the United Kingdom, where there is a relative amount of freedom. Certainly a lot more freedom here in the United Kingdom than what there is in the likes of Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, places like that. So why the hell would we expect companies in those countries where people go missing just for speaking out against the government, why would we expect them to put their lives on the line for us? And we're talking about, don't forget, we're talking about an art company here. I'm not talking about a company that's making ammunition or weapons or helicopters or uranium, or I'm not talking about companies like that. I'm talking about art companies that provide paint for artists. Why would we expect them to put them and their families' lives at risk to save lives anywhere in the world? Doesn't matter where it is. Would you do it? Would you put your life on the line and your family's life on the line if America went to war or the United Kingdom went to war to save somebody else's family in another country? And be honest about the reply, please. I don't think I could do it. And I would say, on average, I wouldn't say I'm brave, but I've done some things that scared the life out of me, and I kept going, no matter what, because I had to. And I don't think I would do that. I don't think I would allow my wife and kids to die in order to make some statement against the war going on somewhere else, even if it was the United Kingdom at war with another country. Because it has happened. There's plenty of wars that the United Kingdom have taken part in, and the people of the United Kingdom have protested. But they haven't stopped things like paying taxes and all the rest of it, because they go to jail. Anyway, I want to apologise to everybody who watches the channel and all the rest of it. Like I said, it really isn't my channel to take down. It really isn't. It belongs to everybody. I put the videos up, I put the content up, and everybody else that has taken part in the channel over the years owns a bit of this channel. So it's unfair for me to just say I'm shutting the whole lot down, and I get that, and I read the comments, and that's the reason why I'm going to try my best not to do it. But you've got to understand, I can't allow YouTube to take control of it, because if they take control of it, then I'll never be able to return to this channel and keep doing reviews or even just showing art or whatever. Somebody asked about whether I'm going to be doing the keeping up the Patreon channel. Yeah, I will be, because I'm not going to stop drawing. I'm not going to stop art or anything like that. Art for me has helped me. Sorry. Art has helped me, and it's helped with my mental health issues and all the issues that I have. So I'm not going to stop that. I'll still do that in my spare time, and the people that are on Patreon are a select few in any case. It's not like it's just anybody that comes on there. And the only talking that I do on there is just explaining what I'm doing. So I'm not talking about the product, or I'm not talking about where it's from or anything like that. I'm just explaining what I'm doing at that time. I'm sure somebody could could twist that round and say that, because you're painting a flower, that flower grows in Russia, and so therefore you're indirectly killing innocent civilians. I'm sure somebody could do that, but I don't think they're going to pay $2 a month for the privilege to say that. So yes, I'll keep the Patreon channel going. I'm going to talk with Anne Kohlberg as well, because I write reviews for Colour magazine. I'm going to have a conversation with Anne today or tomorrow about that. Writing reviews for the magazine's different. I write a review, I put it up, and it goes out, and that's that. My only fear is that if I put a review up through the magazine, that the backlash then would come back onto Anne. And knowing the type of people that have made these comments, they would do that. That's not like me just guessing that might happen. It would happen. So that's basically what's happened. That's the explanation. Like I say, I've only got myself to blame. I shouldn't have done it. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have just put the review up and disable the comments or something like that. If I'd have done that, it would have been simpler. But then that takes away from everybody else's right to comment on a review. So it's the few that destroy it for everybody else. It's always the way. It's a small minority of narrow-minded people that destroy goodness. And I'm not equating the Art Gear Guide to goodness. What I mean is, in life in general, anything good, there's always a small group of narrow-minded people that, because that bit of goodness doesn't fit into their definition of good, they'll destroy it. They'll fuck it up just so that it just doesn't exist anymore. So that, until it happens to them. And then when it happens to them, then when something happens to them like this, then they reevaluate their stance, and they come back and they try to apologize to people and all the rest of it. It's but by that point, it's all done. There's a very big difference, in my opinion, in any case, from the right to turn around and say somebody's an asshole, somebody's a dickhead, somebody's I think you're a dickhead, I think you're an asshole, I think you are a crap artist, I think your reviews are shit. There's a difference between that and turning around and saying you are just as bad as people killing innocent civilians because you are reviewing art supplies. Now, if I was selling weapons to the Russians and I came on here and I said, I'm just selling weapons to them. I'm not actually pulling the trigger, and I'm not actually killing any Ukrainians. I could definitely understand people going, well, yeah, you may not be doing that, but you're certainly helping the Russians to do it, and so kind of, yeah, you are indirectly killing innocent civilians. That would be an argument that I would find really difficult to kind of like come out of. But fucking art supplies, paints, watercolours. Cole, come on, in you come. No, you gotta come round this way, son. Good boy. Sorry, I've just had to let Cole in. It's snowing, so he's all wet. No, don't put your nose there because it'll blow up. So that is, how long have I been on here? 36 minutes. Excellent. So probably somebody complain about the length of time. So anyway, that's it. I won't be coming back onto YouTube. Originally, I was going to take a break and then come back on, and like I say, I was going to do the review of the watercolors in a couple of months or whatever. But I just don't see the point in it anymore. It's I think it's the whole experience now has just been tainted and tarnished, and I just don't look forward. I mean, like, it might change in a couple of weeks' time. I know I'm going to miss it. I know I'm going to miss doing the reviews, but the way I'm feeling right now, I just want nothing to do with it, to be quite honest with you. And that's not to say I don't want anything to do with you guys, because at the bottom of this video, I'm going to leave my personal email address, just in case I do have to close everything down completely. I'm going to leave my personal email address, and if you want to contact me, you're more than welcome to do so about anything, and I will certainly love to keep in touch with a lot of people. A lot of people have private messaged me today asking if they can keep in touch and what have you, and I was really touched, and I would love to. I've known a lot of you for like 7 years now, talking through comments and what have you, and it's been and actually a lot of you guys have actually helped me through some really, really shitty times, and so when I was reading some of the comments this morning saying, you know, this isn't fair and what have you, and you are absolutely right, it's not fair, like, for me to just take the channel down as I originally stated, but I'm going to do everything I can to keep the channel up so that you can still gain access to all the videos and what have you, and all the artwork, speed drawings and things like that. I'm going to try everything I can to keep it all up, but like I say, I've got to be able to do something about the comments going forward without removing the current comments. So if anybody knows how to do that, I would love to hear from you, to let me know what I need to do in order to be able to do that. But like I say, the video that I put up last night, when I pulled that off, I made it private. I couldn't. All the comments disappeared, and I don't know if I put it back up as unlisted, which is different than private. I think if it's unlisted, and people have the link to the video, they can still see it. Because when I made it unlisted, there were still people able to comment on it, and I don't know how they were able to do that. So I've got to work it out. I've got to look at it. I'm sorry for rambling on, but anyway, guys, thank you very much for the last 7 years. I really do appreciate it, and everything that you have done has meant a lot to me. I now have the job of contacting all the companies that I've worked with over the years and explain everything to them and what have you, because I can't have them sending stuff out to me anymore to review. What's wrong? Is that nice? Is that nice? Yeah? Give me a Good boy. Good boy. Right, so I'm sure I'll speak to some of you soon, and everybody take care. Thanks. Bye.